Broadcast is now starting. All attendees are in listen-only mode.
Hi, everyone. This is Jay from ShopWorks, and thank you for attending our webinar today. The subject is the ShopWorks and BrightStores integration, which is part of our 9.3 release, I believe. One of our latest releases, we finally came out with an integration for BrightStores. We're happy to have them as a partner. And today I'm going to talk about how the integration works and what some of the benefits are. If you've never attended one of our webinars before, the way that they work is you can hear me, I cannot hear you, but we still want you to ask questions. And the way that you're going to do that is there is a question pane, P-A-N-E, or window. And throughout the presentation, if you would just type your questions into that question pane, and I will save time at the end of the webinar to answer those questions. So let's get started. The next thing I'd like to announce is we are giving away a $100 Amazon gift card to one of you that's in the webinar today. And the way that works is I'm going to have 4 polls. These polls take you about 5 seconds to answer the quick questions that are on it. I'm going to share the results with you. And every time you enter one of those polls, it's going to get you a raffle or an entry into the Amazon gift card giveaway. So if you take part in all 4 polls, then you'll get 4 entries. If you only take part in 1 poll, then you'll get 1 entry. And we'll give that away tomorrow. The $100 gift card will be given away tomorrow. Okay, so we're talking about 2 things today. Let me just go back to this slide. So ShopWorks and BrightStores are both companies. And people like to think of, sometimes they think of ShopWorks as the program. It's really the company. They like to think as BrightStores as the different websites, and it's really not. They're called Bright Sites. So you can kind of use those terms interchangeably. But the product in ShopWorks, the ShopWorks main product, we have 3 products, but our main core product is called OnSite. And that product is what Bright Sites from BrightStores is integrated with, and it's full-blown shop management. You can manage your entire shop using OnSite. And we're not going to get into a full demonstration of OnSite today or of BrightStores, Bright Sites. We're going to focus on the integration aspects, the API, but I will show you a little bit of both pieces of software. OnSite runs your whole business. It's order processing and workflow. It's order status. Obviously, it integrates with different websites. That's what I'm going to be showing you today. Today, Bright Sites. A lot of order status in there, production control, purchasing, receiving, inventory, and shipping, fulfillment, and accounting. So really, OnSite is designed to be the centerpiece of a business tool for your business. Now, this is all what we call back-end things for your business. In other words, your customer is not really interacting with OnSite, although later I'll show you kind of something for that. But really, OnSite is your back end, meaning it's inside your business, and it's what you use to run your business. Well, as you know, your customers also need websites. For instance, you might want to have on your website, you might want to have a custom shopping from your website where the customer can go, select different blank items, upload their logo, and purchase those from you. Your customers might also need, say, for instance, a school spirit store. Your customer might need a team store. Your customer might need a corporate employee store, an event store. There's all different kinds of stores that you might need. And OnSite and the ShopWorks offering of products we don't offer any of that. So that's where someone like BrightStores comes in. ShopWorks has been in the industry for over 20 years. Obviously, we're very committed to this industry. This is the only industry we service. And BrightStores is an industry-specific website solution as well. And they're specifically or mostly for our industry. Lots of industry experience, and they offer full-blown web stores. So that means they're easy to use. BrightStores are easy to use. They have offer pop-up stores. They offer fundraiser stores. They offer team uniform stores, general stores, employee stores, and more. So obviously, I'm not going to be able to go through all the different features of all these different products, but these are kind of the things that BrightStores can do. And on the previous slide, I showed you the things that OnSite can do. So the first poll starts now. I'm going to launch it. And the question is, what back-end software to use to run your business. So if you're using, you can see obviously ShopWorks OnSite is listed there. There's also QuickBooks, Printavo. And if you use multiples of these, then go ahead and just use the one that's the most for you. And I'll go ahead and remember, this is getting you an entry into that $100 gift card giveaway. So I see about half of you have voted. I'm going to close the poll here in about 5 seconds. So 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Okay, I'm going to go ahead and stop the poll, close it, and I'll share the results with you. So thank you. 71% of you voted. I appreciate that. 60% of you are ShopWorks OnSite customers, which is great because we invited all of our customers to attend this webinar. 9% of you are still using QuickBooks. 3% are using paper and spreadsheets mostly, and 28% of you are using other. So that's the different breakout of what people are using. Okay, let's do one more poll. Again, this is going to be very quick. And the next thing I'd like to know is what e-commerce platform are you using? So if you're using BrightStores, and like I said, if you're using multiples, I think on this one you can select the multiples. We got BrightStores, Order My Gear, Inksoft, Shopify, and other. And there's a lot of them out there. I kind of listed some of the top ones for our industry. And again, I'm going to close this poll in about 5 or 6 seconds. I see a little bit over half of you have voted. This is getting you an entry into the gift card giveaway. And I'll close the poll in 4, 3, 2, 1. Okay, thanks again for voting. 31% of you are using BrightStores already. 6% are using Order My Gear. 31% are using Inksoft. 6% are using Shopify. And a full 40% of you are using other. Which again, not a surprise because there are a lot of e-commerce solutions out there. One of the things I'd like you to note about BrightStores that makes it different is the commitment to our industry and the features for our industry. And I'm going to show you a little bit of this as we go on today, but I'm not an expert at BrightStores, and I'll encourage you to contact them for all those details as we move along. Okay, so let's go over to BrightStores. And this is a BrightStores website. Oh, I'm sorry, I got out of order here a little bit. Bear with me. So for our demonstration, I'm going to show you an Athena web store. This is a web store that BrightStores has set us up with, that we integrated with OnSite. And in this pretend scenario, Athena is your customer. And we're also doing the situation of an employee store. So we've set up an employee store, and they want to allow their employees to order stuff, Athena stuff. So corporate things with corporate logos on it. Okay, so now let's go over to our website here. And this is the BrightStores site. Now this BrightStores, again, I'm not an expert in it, but I can tell you it has lots of different configurations. Obviously branding, colors, layout, featured products, shopping cart. There's millions of different options with the back end of this. And I'll show you the back end here in a minute. I think the beauty of BrightStores that we've noticed is it's just a very clean UI, user interface, very clean, very neat, very easy to set up. And again, everything works, is sort of industry specific. So whether it's sizing, whether it's how BrightSites handles logos, I think you're going to find it's all very clean and very oriented towards our industry, which is what you want. So you can see this is a typical shopping experience. I see featured products. I can click on shop now. And again, all of this is very configurable. This is showing a lot of different items. I'm going to go ahead and order the backpack here. Pretend like I'm a customer on your site. And notice there's different options. So I can select different options. And when I do that, the item color changes and the logo changes, which is really nice because it's actually showing your customer exactly what they're getting. I can add to cart, proceed to checkout, or I can continue shopping. So this is going to be very similar to what you find on most top level shopping sites, including like an Amazon. When I go to checkout, one of the things that I think is cool is you can log in, or you can just do a guest checkout. So if I do a guest checkout, let's just say I do that, continue as guest. I'm going to enter my personal information and shipping information. Obviously, if you've already signed up for an account, that information will be saved. So that's a little bit more convenient. I'm not going to go through the whole process here, but you can see the checkout, all very customizable, very clear what steps to go through. Another nice thing I like is it does support, they support gift cards, they support purchase orders. BrightSites is when I say it's a full-blown shopping experience, it's a full-blown shopping experience. So that's kind of what the web stores look like. If I go to the back end, I'm going to log into my BrightSites back end. And you'll notice I have some widgets in here that kind of show me monthly orders, total users, integrated hits, sales, monthly sales. I have some nice charts. But you can see this as well. The back end is very clean and easy to use. It doesn't have a million different web menu options. If I want to go to products, I simply go to products, click on the products button, and I can see all the products. We found in setting this up that it's pretty straightforward how to set up the different products. If I look at this cap, for example, I'm going to look at the little view button here. And again, I'm setting up the cap. Well, this is what the view of it is. I'd actually have to click on edit to edit it. So that's kind of what the customer views. If I want to edit it, I click on the edit button. And you can see in here, you have different settings. And I think you're going to find that, again, this is, if you look at a top level or top of the line e-commerce solution, that's the kind of features that you're going to find within BrightSites. And very easy navigation, very clean interface, very easy to understand. So how do we make all this happen? How do we make the whole process happen where we want BrightStores to integrate into OnSite? Well, the number one is, obviously, you need to set up a BrightStores website. And I would encourage you to contact BrightStores. They can give you a demo of their BrightSites. They can show you all the different features. And you'd set up their website. Now, I don't know if they have setup services or if you just do it from templates. I'm not 100% sure how that works. But again, from our experience, it was pretty easy and straightforward to set up. So that would be your step one, set up a BrightStores website, which I just showed you. Step two is once you do that, you're going to have certain credentials from BrightSites that you're going to then put into the OnSite system. So they're going to give you API. You hear this term API, which is a terrible term because it means Application Programming Interface. That's literally what API stands for. But it's terrible because what it means is it's just a way of computers to talk to each other and share information. But API is basically a way for these different software systems to connect. And BrightSites has APIs, and we've built out the connection to them. And this is where you put the connection information in your OnSite system. Now, once you've done that, one point about that, on the ShopWorks side, if you're a ShopWorks customer, I had mentioned to you before, OnSite is our core product. A secondary product that we offer that ties into OnSite is called ManageOrders. And you must be using ShopWorks ManageOrders to access the API. So ManageOrders has a couple different features for it. The APIs I just mentioned. So it gives you API access into OnSite. It's also a customer portal. So your order information can be projected to ManageOrders, shared with ManageOrders via API as well. And then your customers can log into ManageOrders and check on the status of orders. Customers can also pay for orders on ManageOrders, and then that payment automatically comes into OnSite. So again, these are more uses of APIs. So I'm not going to do a demo of ManageOrders today. We have separate videos on that. We'll probably do other webinars on ManageOrders. It has its whole advantages and disadvantages. It's only disadvantage. It's not really meant for. It's not meant for being a shopping cart. However, from a shopping cart, you can push orders into ManageOrders and then go into the OnSite system. So just so you know, if you're an OnSite customer, you do have to have ManageOrders. So step three, now once you have those two things, so you've set up your BrightStores, you put those credentials into OnSite, you're using ManageOrders. Step three is you're now open for business. The Athena employees, remember in this example, we're doing an employee store. The employees log into your BrightStores or just go onto it, and they place orders. I didn't show you this, but BrightSites obviously can also integrate with payment processors. It can also take the payment from the customer. and process it. So it'll actually charge your customer's credit card or ACH or take a purchase order. You have options there. It'll take payment from the customer and process that. That's kind of step 3. Now, step 4 is you then have to manually enter your order. Okay, so for you people that responded, if you're using back-end systems that are not on-site, and I know that BrightSites has some other integrations as well, so you want to contact them about who they're integrated with. But if you don't have one of those integrations, then you have to manually enter the order. Now, the big negative of that, of course, is it's labor intensive to enter orders manually into your system. Why do you want to re-enter an order that your customer just entered onto your website? Doesn't make any sense, especially in today's labor market. It's harder to find good employees, so why do you want to task them with something that can be done by a machine? From our conversations with customers, it takes about 15 minutes or more per order. So that allows you to assign a cost. If somebody has to manually enter orders and they're making, let's say $30 an hour loaded, meaning with all their benefits and everything else, that's 60 divided by 4. $15 per order just to enter that order to the system. So if you're doing 1,000 orders a month, you're paying $15,000 in manual entry. If you're doing 100, then it's still $1,500. So why would you do that when you can do it automatically? The other problem with order entry, when it's done by humans, it's prone to mistakes. So when an order is coming from a website to a computer, a lot less chance of mistakes. Not impossible, but way less chance of mistakes. So we want to avoid manually entering the orders. Obviously, that's what this webinar is about. We want to avoid that. And the way that we're going to do that is we're going to have the BrightStores order come into OnSite with no data entry. And not only do we want the order, we want the payment information. We want all that to be entered into OnSite automatically. So let's flip over to OnSite and let's kind of show you how that works. So if I wanted to enter an order into the system in OnSite, I could just go over to orders and I could click on add, and that's the manual process. That's the process we're trying to avoid. Let me just kind of show you real quick what an order looks like. So if I look at, for example, these are all my DC Special Olympics. That's a customer I do a lot of business with. This is all the orders I have in the system. We have a design associated with those orders. We have a design type, which tells me if it's screen printing, direct to garment, embroidery. You can set up all these different things are configurable. You can set up your embellishment types, trophies and awards, signage, anything that you're manufacturing in your company or printing. You can set up a order type for it. If I go to status, I can see the status of every order in my system. So I can see if the art's been approved, if the order's been approved, if it's been purchased yet, if it's been received yet, produced yet, shipped yet, invoiced yet, if it's been paid yet. So this is where our workflow, the on-site workflow tools come into play. Everything in our system is real time. So for example, if we bring an order in from BrightSites, and if there's payment associated with that order, whether it's partially paid or fully paid, as I bring the order in, it'll automatically get updated. This is not something that somebody has to manually do in the system. The order gets updated automatically. And that's true if we're doing purchasing, receiving, production, invoicing, shipping. As people are using the system, as they're shipping things out, these statuses get automatically updated. So it's very easy for a business owner, production manager, or some customer service manager to quickly get a snapshot of what's going on in your shop. If I look at an order, I can see all of the details on an order, and this mirrors what you would take on an order form. So you have customer information, you have design information, including thumbnails and how the design is going to be printed. You have line item information, you have shipping information, you have payment information, proofs and approvals, attachments. When you take an order, there's a lot of information. So the idea is with this integration between BrightSites and OnSite is we don't want to enter this manually. We want to enter as little of this information manually as possible. And so let's go over to orders, sales department. But instead of entering orders manually, I'm going to go over here to order API. And this is not, you control who has access in OnSite to what features. So not everybody has access to this. You control who can do this. But let's say I'm a manager type person. And there's two ways that you can bring orders from your BrightSites into OnSite. Number one is you can do it automatically. You can have the server bring those orders in. And you can have it done every 5 minutes, every 15 minutes, once an hour, once a day. Everybody's a little different. Most people like to do it once or twice a day. But again, that's under your control. You have options there. But the other way I can do it is I can do it manually. And since I'm not on a server, I'm just on a workstation here, I'm going to go ahead and let's do our order API import. And I'm going to select the integration that I want to do it for. And in this case, I'm going to select BrightStores. I have a BrightStores integration set up. If I go to additional parameters, I can put in a date range if I want. So if I wanted to, I could bring in all the orders for the last month. I could bring, in this case, I'm just going to look for the orders for today, which is going to be more of a real world situation, how you're going to do it. At the end of the day, I want to give me all the orders for the day, or you're going to do that via server. So just keep in mind, everything I'm doing here that I'm doing manually can also be more automated. So it tells me 4 orders are going to be imported. Now, Jay, what's all this gobbledygook on the screen? This is the API text. This is the actual text that we have received from BrightSites. It tells us that we're going to be importing 4 orders. I'm going to go ahead and begin the import. And I can see here we have 4 orders. These are the external order ID from our BrightSites store. It tells us these orders are from BrightSites, BrightStores, and remember, these can come from anywhere. So OnSite has many different integrations. And so this tells us the API source is where it's coming from. And I just want to go ahead and I can review these orders if I want. So if I want to, before I send it, I can review the data. But I can already see there's no errors here. So C has errors, no. That means there's no errors. And I'm just going to go ahead and bulk process these orders. So I'm going to bulk process. That's fine. These 4 are fine. There's no errors. Go to step 2. And now I'm going to process all of these. And when I do that, that's going to scroll through each of these orders that were sucked in. And it tells me it turned them into sales orders and what order type they are. So these are all embroidery orders. Again, these have to do with settings in the system. They don't have to be embroidery orders. You can make them whatever kind of orders you want. You also obviously don't only have to use embroidered products. You can sell any kind of embellished product, can be sold on BrightSites and can be processed in OnSite. So I'm just showing you some examples. Now let's say I was to go back and do that same process again. Well, OnSite would check and already see that those orders had been processed. So that's a nice thing about the integration is it allows you to make sure that you're not doubling up on orders. You wouldn't want to do that. So OnSite takes care of that kind of behind the scenes. If I go over back to my order section now, and I look at all orders that were created today, these are all the orders we brought in today, and there's the 4 that we just brought in via API. So if I go to each of them, I can see different information. I can see customer information, design information, line item information, and this is all coming from BrightSites. It's not having to be entered manually. If there was payments, in these cases, we did not have payments. We were allowing customers to pay via purchase order. So there are no payments in it. But if payments had actually been processed on your BrightSites, you'd see those payments in here. You do not have to add them manually. So now those orders are in the system and they're ready to be processed. So they would go through the different cycles. The different cycles are purchasing, or pulling from inventory. You'd then receive the goods. You'd produce the goods, whether you're producing those yourselves or if you're subcontracting out. Either way, you have some production tools. You'd then ship the goods, meaning shipping it to your customer, not shipping to yourself, shipping to your customer. And then you would invoice them. And once you invoice them, the OnSite has integrated accounting with it. So those orders become invoices, and then they're now in your receivables department, or if they've been paid for, they're just paid orders that are reflected in your system. So I'm covering a lot here. I know, especially on the workflow stuff, the details on how BrightSites work. I know I'm covering a lot of ground here, but the most important thing I want to show you here is just how quick and easy it is to bring those orders down from BrightSites into your OnSite system. Keeping in mind, it can be done manually like I just showed you, or it can be done on your server automatically at times that you prescribe. So just a little quick overview. your customers go onto your Bright stores. That's where the order's taken. That's where the payment's processed. That data is passed through our manage orders, through into on ShopWorks manage orders, where it stores the order information. Then OnSite goes out to manage orders every 5 minutes, 15 minutes, hourly, whatever you decide. It grabs the orders manually or automatically from your server, and it brings them into the OnSite system automatically. So what are the benefits of this integration between OnSite and BrightSites? Well, I mean, I think it's pretty obvious. You save a lot of labor, as I told you before. You have less errors. And then lastly, much faster order processing. So all of us, or all of you guys, are under a crunch to get orders processed faster. That's coming from your customers. Obviously, you're trying to reduce labor. And so faster order processing means happier customers and less labor. So that's the benefit of everything. All right. That kind of sums up. It's that straightforward. The integration is that straightforward. It's very easy to use. I will open the floor for questions. While we're doing that, I do have 2 more polls I'd like to ask you. If you're interested in BrightStores, I'm going to go ahead and launch this poll. Just remember that by answering this poll, you can say no or yes, but by answering this poll, you get an entry into the $100 gift card. So if you'd like BrightStores to reach out to you via email, then just say yes. If you no thanks, it's fine. Just say no thanks. So thank you for everybody answered that poll. I appreciate it. Again, that's an entry. And I'm going to do the same thing for OnSite. So if you'd like a ShopWorks OnSite demo, or if you have to want to answer questions or just somebody to reach out to you, if you'd like that to happen, say yes. If you don't want that to happen, say no thank you. And we're not going to be offended if you say no thank you. Don't worry. Just be honest. So everybody's answered. Again, that gets you an entry into the giveaway. All right. Let's see. Oh, let me close the poll here in a couple seconds. All right, close it. Okay, so thanks everybody for participating. Thanks for answering our polls. I only see one question right now, so if you have a question, now is the time to ask it. Let me expand this. I might be missing some here. Oh, I see more than one question. Okay, so the first question is, Rachel asks, how can we receive this recorded session later? Great question. Rachel, we will send out an email to everyone who attended that, and where the recording is. It will be on our YouTube channel. So if you go to ShopWorks software, I think it's with an X, ShopWorks with an X software on YouTube. We have a YouTube channel, and that's where we'll post this video. Beth asks, if your store has multiple decorative example, screen printed shirts and embroidered hats, how does the order type work? Good question, Beth, because our order types typically tend to be screen printing, embroidery, promotional products. But what we recommend is you create an order type called combo order. Many on-site customers do this, and what that means, because there's nothing to prevent an order in on-site from having multiple items with multiple embellishment types on it. So we recommend you create a order type called combo order, and that's going to tell your people that that you have multiple types of embellishment on it. If you reach out to our support department, they might have a video on how to do that, but it's just a new order type in your system. It's very straightforward, and many customers are doing that. Stephanie asks, is it possible to have customer orders imported into ShopWorks with the same sales order number based on the same online store instead of having individual sales orders for each customer order? I think Stephanie's asking, well, normally the way that it works is one order on BrightStores is one order in OnSite. So if there's some reason, like I think what Stephanie's asking is, if they're doing a team store and they have, all the kids from the team, let's say they have 50 kids and they have 50 orders of one piece each, they don't want to bring those in as 50 different orders. They want to bring it in as one big order into OnSite. I don't know. I'll have to follow up with you on that question, if BrightStores has a feature or if there's some ability to do that in OnSite in the settings. I'm not sure. That one I will have to get back to you on. I apologize, but I will follow up with you after the webinar or get someone to, and we'll get you an answer on that. Ashlyn asks, how does it import the design? So let's go over to we can see here's a design. And you can see it brings in thread colors and it brings in the logo. So there are you do set up your logo and you set up your designs in your BrightSites web store, and it even is bringing in the number of stitches. So it's bringing in basically all the design information. So you would set that up as a property as part of your BrightSites, and then when that design comes in and it's linked to an order, you have all the design information already in your system. So again, saving data entry, things like that. Beth asks, what is the fee for BrightStores, BrightSites? I don't know. You'll have to contact BrightSites for that one. But I'm sure they're competitive with other web stores, or maybe even less expensive. I'm not sure. But I can tell you it's a very good product, so you definitely want to look into that. Jay asks, is there a particular contact at BrightStores that we can reach out to? I will ask them that. Again, if you responded yes to the BrightSites, you'd like them to contact you, I'm going to forward that information to BrightStores, and they will reach out to you. If someone doesn't reach out to you, feel free to email me directly, but we'll definitely get you connected if you're interested with the BrightStores people. Like I said, they're from our industry. They're very responsive, or I found them to be responsive. So not going to have any problems there. Mike asked, what credit card process does BrightStores require you to use for their stores? I think they have multiples. So I think they might have a credit card processing. They probably also have auth.net and other options. Unfortunately, in our demo, we're not using credit cards because it gets tricky when you're trying to set it up for that. But that is a good question for the BrightStores people. I know that there's options there. Actually, Josh is from BrightStores and he's answering. Stripe, auth.net, PayPal, and Square. So auth.net gives you tons of options. Then you have Stripe, PayPal, and Square. If you're a new customer using ShopWorks Pay, which is a new ShopWorks product, you have an auth.net emulator for ShopWorks Pay. So you can even use ShopWorks Pay with BrightStores. Let's see. Beth asks, how does it know what order type, what specific design, et cetera, to choose? Well, the design is related to the product, so that one's easy. The order type is a setting that you have. So that's going to be setting related of the order types and how that works. So without getting into a ton of details, that's kind of the overview of how it works. Barney asked, does it automatically set requested ship dates? That's a good question. I think that is a setting. I know OnSite can set the requested ship dates for you. But I would have to follow up on that one as well, on the ship dates. But I think that's probably something that's on the BrightSites as well. Lucy from BrightStores also responded, marketing@brightstores.com is a great email address to use. So if you want pricing questions or demo questions regarding BrightSites, use that email address. I'll repeat it again, marketing@brightstores.com. Mercedes asked, how are customers linked? Do you set that up in BrightStores during setup? There's multiple options there. So I believe you can set up so that the customers come over, if it's different customers, the customers can come over one for one from BrightSites into OnSite. You can also set it up if you're using a company store and you have, like I said, all the kids are ordering. You really don't want to set up separate accounts for all the kids. You're going to process it under one quote company in OnSite. And that's a setting as well. So you have some options there. Ashton asks, can it import component parts as well? For example, trophies, if the trophy has a figure, trim, and column choice made. That I don't know about. I'm not sure on the components if it can handle the component part of it. I'll have to follow up on that one. I know that OnSite can set those components, but if the user is choosing components on their side, you probably, I don't know. I'm sorry, but I just don't know the answer to that one, but I'll follow up on that one. Let's see. I'm currently, another question is from the shipping department. I'm currently using a web store that has a tendency to not import all of the information. From OnSite's point of view, are there any common issues with the integration between BrightStores and OnSite? No. I mean, look, if your store is set up correctly, I mean, it basically converts the store to JSON data, and then we grab that JSON data and convert it into OnSite. So the only time you're going to have problems there if something's not set up properly. Is BrightStores easy to work with technical issues? Absolutely. I mean, ShopWorks technical support is going to be your first call. Then if you continue to have a problem, then we'll get BrightStores involved. But yeah, I mean, you're going to have support options with both Bright sites and with OnSite. You have support options there. Simon asked, will the stores work from Canada? I don't see any reason why they wouldn't. And so unless I hear different, I'm going to say yes to that. Actually, Josh is responding yes to Canada, so we can say definitively yes on that one. Thanks for chiming in, Josh. Patty asked, do they offer one freight option, or does the purchaser have a choice of freight carriers? I'm pretty sure that's going to be a setting. I would be surprised if it's otherwise. Josh, if you want to chime in on that one. And Josh said it's a choice based on store settings. So yeah, you're going to have options there on your freight. Let's see, can custom names, numbers be carried over? For example, individual customization for each order. Yes, there are customization options, and that's part of your store setup. So I do know that there are customization options because I saw those in there when I was playing around with it. Josh mentioned on the support issue that remember that they also have a relationship with us. So ShopWorks and BrightStores has a relationship. So if there's a problem that requires our support to get with BrightStore support, we're not going to, you're not going to have to run through the gauntlet to get support. ShopWorks will work with BrightStores. We both have a vested interest in keeping you happy so that you continue to use our products, and we will get problems resolved for you. So we will both attack those problems. Okay, great questions. It's been a great webinar. Again, thank you for attending. Tomorrow, I want you to look for two things. One is one of you will get a $100 gift card, and we'll also send out the link for the recording. So that'll also be sent out to everybody. So thank you, everybody. Great questions. We had a great crowd today. Thank you for the BrightStores people for your participation and helping me answer questions. And I really encourage you to check out both of our products. They can really help you run your businesses better. So thanks again, everybody. Have a great week, and we'll see you in the next webinar.